We're learning new details about the funeral plans for Queen Elizabeth. We're told the Queen's grandchildren, including Prince William and Prince Harry, will stand vigil by the Queen's coffin tomorrow night, where we will see Prince Harry wearing his military uniform for the first and only time. Tonight, King Charles and his siblings will stand vigil as the Queen lies in state, with Princess Anne making history as the first woman to ever participate in that tradition. And for members of the public hoping to see the Queen's coffin, the line is now paused after growing more than 5 miles long, with wait times estimated to be about 14 hours. Meanwhile, an unprecedented security operation is also underway, as Monday's state funeral is expected to bring more than 1 million people to the area and leaders from all over the world. James Longman has the latest.
London prepares for the most complex security operation it has ever faced. The Queen's funeral service, possibly the largest event in its history. Guards rehearsing the procession under the cover of darkness as law enforcement gears up to face down serious challenges.
Terrorists like to attack crowds, and we are about to create possibly the biggest crowd in recent history.
The BBC reporting around 1,500 military personnel will descend on the city, along with hundreds hired from private security firms, joining the thousands of police officers patrolling London each day. Sniffer dogs, extra CCTV and armed officers on rooftops keeping watch. The event expected to draw more than 1 million people to the area surrounding Westminster Abbey.
So look, this event is as big as it gets for a number of reasons. One is obviously the number of VIPs that are attending.
Among the dignitaries and world leaders expected to attend, President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, the leaders of Canada and France, members of Europe's other royal families, and also invited China's President Xi Jinping. But notably, left off the list, Russian President Vladimir Putin. With so many in one area, leaders are being asked to park their cars and jump on government buses to the funeral. But a government official has told ABC News those protocols won't apply to President Biden. Beyond the visible show of force, an intense operation underway behind the scenes.
What you also won't see is the scale of technical surveillance that is being undertaken. So our brilliant intelligence services, they're there 24 hours a day trying to keep us safe.
And James Longman joins me live now from outside Westminster Abbey. James, it's interesting. You're standing at what is usually one of the busiest intersections in London. So what's it like to see it barricaded with pedestrians and security everywhere?
Diana, it's very strange. I was in London for the wedding of Will and Kate, and even then, because that took place here, it wasn't like this. Let me show you. I mean, this is one of the main roads in London, all the way down there. That is Parliament Square. You can see the road is flooded with people because people have come from all over Britain, all over the world to be here, and yet no cars. That is a security gate up there. There is one road behind this position where cars can get to, so this unfortunate driver is going to have to try and find a way through. But all this road as well, if we just go all the way up here, you'll see, again, completely closed. There's an enormous amount of security here. We're surrounded by police, by the military. 1,500 military have been drafted in for this event. And the police have come in from all over Britain. They're not just here in London. This is the largest event they've ever had to police, larger even than the 2012 Olympics. Thousands of police officers are going to be on the streets because it's just going to be absolutely huge. And I just want to show you one last thing. This is the stage where a lot of the press are going to be. So they're, you know, this is being built as we speak. You probably can hear that where you're live on air. But there's just so much activity here, and it's quite extraordinary just to see so many people. Many of these people are trying to make their way, of course, to that big line to see the Queen lying in state. So many of them are coming past here, actually asking for directions, often holding flowers because they want to try and find the line. They've got a long way to go, though, because that line is miles away from here. Diane?
And James, the line to see the Queen as she lies in state is actually now paused because it got so long, more than 5 miles. And now we're hearing there's a line for the line?
It's the most British thing I've ever heard in my life. There is a queue for the queue. So they said that it was going to reach capacity sometime over the weekend. Obviously, it's reached capacity a lot earlier than that. I think people are really hoping that perhaps it'll go a bit more quickly so that more people can join. I think they're going to try, I think, to speed things up because they said that 400,000 people were going to come past to see the Queen. We haven't had an official number yet, but it does feel as though more and more people have tried to come. I had friends, my husband and his friend lined up. It took them 4.5 hours. It's now taking an average of 14 hours to get to the front, so a very long time indeed.
And we're also hearing reports about anti-monarchy protests. What's the latest on that, and how careful do officials need to be about how they handle that?
Yeah, look, it's one of the security implications of holding an event like this. Everything from pickpocketing to terrorism threats and anti-monarchy protest is going to be part of the calculation. We've seen at some of the events where King Charles has been in attendance, there have been protesters holding signs, some of them saying, "Not my king," and occasionally they've been picked out and arrested by the police. There was an incident here in London where an individual was holding up a white piece of paper without anything written on it, and he said that he was told by a policeman that if he had written "Not my king," he would have been arrested. That made headlines here. Look, these are isolated incidents. I think we put them down to overcautious policing. Remember, a lot of the police who are coming into London are not from London, so they will be very keen to try to make sure that things go as smoothly as possible. But I would imagine that the line has been given now to all police officers not to do anything of the sort. Optics is key here. King Charles knows that. You know, we have the new monarchy now where he perhaps hasn't got the amount of public support on his side that the Queen had, total public love. And so everything about this king, you know, the optics of his reign are really, really important. And those moments really don't help a king like King Charles now, as we call him, trying to gain public support. So they'll be very vigilant about that. Diane?
The optics sure are key, not only what we see, but also in what we hear, apparently. We're now also hearing that Heathrow Airport has canceled flights over that area during the time of the funeral to ensure that even the skies are silent. So just a small touch to show the precision with which Monday's state funeral for the Queen is being planned. James Longman from outside Westminster Abbey for us. Thanks, James.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.